Hi guys, and welcome to Football Canapes for this transfer talk. The transfer window is well and truly open and is heading towards its climax. And just about what um, from by my reckoning, just a few less than 100 hours left for every football club to complete the deals that they want to. Whether they get to do them or not remains to be seen. But can't can't blame for not trying what they have been trying and yeah, so we'll see what comes of it. Of course, the proof of the pudding will be in the eating, and the proof of the pudding will be in the eating, and there's just left before before we can cast judgment on who has done well and who perhaps hasn't. So yeah, let's just begin straight away. Manchester United, they are perhaps the biggest club who are to do business in this transfer window. You could talk about Real Madrid being bigger than. You can talk about Real Madrid being bigger than Manchester United, but Real Madrid are not particularly looking to do anything in particular. They have a very well settled squad, and in fact brimming with the talent. So Manchester United, I'm sure you can see via the thumbnail that Manuel Ugarte deal has more or less been agreed. It's been reporting everywhere that the Uruguay midfielder is set to sign for the Red Devils, and yeah, who is he going to replace in the Manchester United midfield? We'll soon find out. But McTominay, by the looks of it, is on his way to, where is Napoli? Southwest Italy or North Italy, wherever it is. Antonio Conte, I'm sure, will, for whatever uh, McTominay lacks, I'm sure Antonio Conte will drill into him what he wants and make a better player out of him. I'm not saying whether he was fit for Manchester United or wasn't, but I'm sure uh, Antonio Conte will do wonders with Scott McTominay, whether he plays him as a defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder, or a second striker or a main striker remains to be seen. I'm sure Antonio Conte has his ideas and he will implement those very well. I have no doubt in my mind. So Manuel Ugarte, what does he bring? Well, he's a defensive midfielder. Last season, I saw him play at St James's Park. I mean, let's put it this way: he was hooked off after 64 minutes with the with PSG trailing 3-1, and eventually PSG lost 4-1 at St James's Park, and he had a decent Copa America with Uruguay. The Copa America, Uruguay reached the semifinals. They were eliminated by the runners-up Colombia, and I mean, um, did he have a decent? He got injured as well. I'm pretty sure, or am I thinking of someone else? But no, actually, Ugarte had a very decent Copa America. I was thinking of Edson Alvarez, but not sure how I got confused there. But Edson Alvarez of Mexico, I was thinking of, and yeah, so that ways, I mean, that ways, I think Manchester United would benefit from having him. Casemiro, I don't think is in a position to play. You know, physically at least, he's in a position to play for. all the matches that Manchester United would be competing in, and the amount of money that Manchester United have spent, they would want to be competitive in most of the competitions. They can't be afford to be like, yeah, this competition is not for us, or I'm pretty sure they have priorities when it comes to Europa League, Premier League, Carabao Cup, or FA Cup, or whatever the priorities are. But Ugarte I'm sure they see the Uruguayan 23-24 year old as an important cog in the wheel, and I'm at least mentally he should lift the morale of the team. I can't see him playing against Liverpool on Sunday, on Sunday, but going forward, I'm pretty sure Manuel Ugarte would do really well. Really, I mean, like Manchester United fans would like to think that Ugarte is the missing piece of the jigsaw. Apart from Ugarte, there's been report in the Mirror, Daily Mirror newspaper, that talks have begun with Raheem Sterling. I mean, not really a big fan of Sterling. Apart from the fact, I mean, I'm no Manchester United fan, but Manchester United fans, if Raheem Sterling doesn't have a good start to the season, then the kind of background he has, a former Liverpool player, a former Manchester City player, and I'm pretty sure he scored at least 100 goals or something like that for Manchester City. Um, if things go south, then fans will probably turn on Raheem Sterling pretty quick, and I might be wrong, but it might get a bit tasty down the road. Well, that's one thing. But do Manchester United need another winger or a wide attacker? They've got plenty. Garnacho, Ahmad. I know they are young and would probably feel the effects. Rashford is there. Jadon Sancho for the time being is there, but Anthony, who else? I'm pretty sure there's someone in the youth team as well. And Manchester United, if they have the money, or if they are considering a loan option or something like that, would they not be better served going for a going for a left back, at least on loan? Luke Shaw is out. Madrawi and Diego Dallo are primarily primarily right backs who can operate on the left hand side of defense, but that that ability to whip in, a first time cross from the left hand side can help the likes of Xerxes and Rasmus Højlund, or if Marcus Rashford plays in, or from the right Ahmad comes in, or Anthony comes in. So that ways, I mean, I am of the opinion that money would have been better spent elsewhere, and it's just a report. I'm not sure how much truth there is in that report, that Raheem Sterling could potentially think of moving to could potentially think of moving to Old Trafford. But if he does, I'm like, he'd be a good option off the bench, and why not? I mean, like, no manager is going to say no to a player who's been an England international. Although I personally feel England days are well behind Raheem Sterling, and he would it would be basically a minor miracle if he gets back into Lee Carsley's side, or maybe even whoever the full-time manager of England is. Let's see who England manager is. So Raheem Sterling, talks have been ongoing, and apart from that, Apart from that, uh, what else has been going on Manchester United? They've probably agreed with the youngster that I told you about. Kone Sekou Kone is the name, and apart from that, um, apart from that, there have to be some outgoings that Manchester United need to consider as well. Um, I mean, the wage bill that Manchester United have is perhaps is a bit is a bit too, what do you call, healthy. Let's put it this way. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Chilwell for time being. Okay, I get that was a bad suggestion, but yeah. So I mean, I just think that there are other positions that Manchester United could well have considered before plumping for Raheem Sterling. Whether they haven't, or they will. Only time will tell. But there's been a report that Manchester United have been eyeing have been eyeing Raheem Sterling, and then that maybe the talks have begun with with Chelsea. Although talking of Chelsea, let's talk about Chelsea. Um, so basically, Chelsea need to get rid of players, right? Right. So some of the players that they need to get rid of include Raheem Sterling, who is just not there in the thinking of the manager. Uh, Trevor Chalobah, he's another one. Then there is Ben Chilwell, and and maybe, I mean, like today, Kepa Arrizabalaga has been it's been confirmed that Kepa Arrizabalaga is moving to Bournemouth on loan. What it means for Neto, who was outstanding for me at least against Newcastle on Sunday. So maybe Neto will move on. He's been the captain at Bournemouth for a while, and his keeping, to be honest, kept them in the league 2 seasons ago. He made some really good saves. I don't want to give him too much credit. I can't say I have watched him a lot, but I mean, on Sunday I did watch him for Newcastle. I was watching both the Chelsea game and the Newcastle game, and Neto was good. Maybe he has expressed some desire to move to some other club. So we'll wait and see if if uh, the situation arises where there's there's a choice to be made between who's number one and who's number two, because we've seen that at Arsenal, that when you have two goalkeepers who are of equal pedigree, like Ramsdale and David Raya, then situation can be a bit tense. A goalkeeper makes a mistake, the camera goes straight to the other goalkeeper sitting on the bench. So Neto, I mean, and Kepa Arrizabalaga. Anyways, coming back to Chelsea, so they have been linked with Ivan Toney. Basically, the story last night was that Ivan Toney had said yes to Al Hali in the Saudi Arabian Premier League, or Russian Premier League as it's called by its sponsors. So I mean, and today Chelsea have expressed interest. I mean, Tony had said to the Saudi club Al Hali, but no discussion has taken place with Brentford, and Brentford are, by all accounts, asking for unreasonable money from the clubs who have expressed interest. Whether where Tony's future lies, only time will tell. But in terms of in terms of uh, in terms of money that is being offered at Saudi club is it's life changing. I'm like that is a kind of money. I don't know what kind of upbringing Ivan Tony had, but even the richest. I mean, football in England is seen as a more as a you know as a game that is like a working person's game. So that ways, I mean, if push comes to shove, where will Tony go? I mean, I have a rough idea, but I don't want to make presumptions about Ivan Tony or something like that. And I was watching something on a channel where they said like Ronaldo went to Saudi Arabia, or um Messi went to MLS, or N'Golo Conte went to Saudi Arabia. But the difference is N'Golo Conte and the likes of Ronaldo, they had achieved everything in the game. You could say that in Saudi Arabia they did move for money, but N'Golo Conte and Cristiano Ronaldo, they went to Saudi Arabia after they had achieved everything. And Ivan Tony, I mean, he's still getting called up for England, and still getting called up for England. So there's no need for him. Maybe two or three is still what 28, 29. So I mean, if I were Ivan Tony, I'd probably choose Chelsea. I don't know if Chelsea have enough money or spending power or wriggle room to buy another striker, which may as well cost upwards of 40 million. So that ways it'll be interesting to see. They might, as I said, Raheem Sterling moving on will make space. Victor Osimhen is still on the cards. Mike Penders, they've Chelsea have signed another goalkeeper, although there was talk that the USA keeper might sign early on, but apparently it has not been signed, sealed, and delivered. So we'll see what happens with Ivan Tony, but Chelsea have certainly expressed interest, and there's still about 80 90 hours before the transfer window slams shut. And we've seen in the past that you know unusual things, strange things do happen in the do happen in the closing hours of the transfer window. So you never know what might happen, and we'll keep a keen eye out on what the happenings are in the window. Uh, Apart from that, Chelsea, as I said, as I said, the key, as I said that, as I said that they need to get out of their get some players off their books in Chilwell, Chaloba. They've gotten rid of Kepa, which I briefly mentioned, and I think more or less squad wise they have, in terms of strikers, they've got Jackson, Joao Felix, David Datro Fofana might move on. So in terms of strikers, David Datro Fofana, if he moves, Chelsea could conceivably consider bringing in another striker, but I don't see the pressing need as such. And yep, so that's one thing. I'll move on to Arsenal now. Arsenal have confirmed the signing of Spanish international and Euro 2020-24 winner Mikel Merino. He was at my club for one season from 2017 to 2018. He was absolutely outstanding when he was fully fit. So Arsenal fans, I don't know how much they watch of Real Sociedad in La Liga, but in Mikel Merino they are getting a gem of a player, and who's a basically a real technician who can play in midfield, can play in central defense as well. And when he was Dortmund, he played as a central defender. He played at Osasuna as well, so he played as a central defender there, played as a central defender there, and really highly rated. So congratulations to Arsenal. I mean, I let me be honest. I am not particularly a fan of Arsenal Football Club, and that's putting it mildly. But I have no bad words to say about Mikel Merino. Just that he left under a cloud under cloud in 2018. His release clause was triggered, and he decided to move on. Fair enough. He wanted to go back to his homeland. He's he's from that area, the Basque area, the Pamplona area, known for bullfighting, and then those tomato kind of things, whatever it is. Anyways, I don't have anything bad to say about Mikel Marino, and I personally feel he'll add so much to Arsenal. It's I mean, I'm a bit jealous. Anyways, moving on. Arsenal have decided to sell Eddie Nketiah as well. He's apparently off to Crystal Palace. Deal has more or less been agreed with Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace getting a good signing. Um, interesting to Would be interesting to see where he is in the pecking order with the Crystal Palace. They have two good strikers. They sold Jordan Ayew to Leicester City, who was. I mean, Jordan Ayew wasn't particularly a goal scorer, but he was what he was. So they have Otson Edward. They have John Felipe Mateta, who ended the last season really remarkably with the Palace. He scored goals galore, and was a big reason that that Crystal Palace ended the season on a high note. And but this season, I mean, like, I'll come back to Crystal Palace and everything, but this season it apparently looks like players are leaving Crystal Palace. Jordan Ayew, I mean, you could say that he's not much of a big miss. But Olise has gone to Bayern Munich. Joachim Anderson has gone back to Fulham. Gone back as in, I just think he was on loan there as well from Lyon or Sampdoria. And then he was there at Crystal Palace. He was good. Mark Gahey, I mean, as a Newcastle fan, I've got my fingers crossed. Mark Gahey signs for Newcastle. But the point I'm making here is that people or players, good players, are looking to leave Crystal Palace. Mark Gahey, who's the club captain, may leave may leave Crystal Palace. There is a very high likelihood that he will. And then we have um, who else? There's someone else who's perhaps left as well. Joachim Anderson and Sam Johnston might leave as well, although again not a big miss. So in terms of striker, John Philip Moteta might leave, Otson Edward might leave, because uh, the way Crystal Palace play, they only play with one striker, I think, or two in desperate situations. So Otson Edward, Felipe Mateta, I just have a feeling that one of those might leave Crystal Palace just before the transfer window, and I don't think Mateta or Edward can play in wide areas. I mean, I might be wrong, but I'd be surprised if Mateta or Edward play in the wide areas. So let's see. But I do expect Crystal Palace to do some other business as well. Mark Gehi will most likely leave, and most probably for Newcastle United. So what else? I was talking about Crystal Palace, Eddie Nketiah, Arsenal. I'm pretty sure Arsenal's transfer window business is done with with these signings. With these signings, it's Calafiori is done, and then. Then Calafiori is done. They've signed someone else, and Calafiori and what uh, Mikel Marino. So they've strengthened. Julian Timber is back. That I made mention of. Uh, that I made mention. Julian Timber is back, and 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 Julian Timber is back. So uh, in terms of squad, they the Arsenal's team looks really in good shape. And I'd be surprised if they finish any lower than second. I mean, anything can happen. Injuries can wreck your season. Last season, I saw that firsthand with firsthand with Newcastle United, when I mean they were like 12, 13, 14 players out injured at one time, and but Arsenal's I'm pretty sure they would have learned from the mistakes that Newcastle made, and their squad looks decent, especially after signing Mikel Marino, and but they could do with a striker or two. They could do with a striker or two, because Nketiah is going. They've got what I mean, like who have they got? They've got Jesus, who's ever since moving to Arsenal, he's been perennially injured. But I mean, they could do with a striker, Kai Havertz. I mean, I okay, he's done better since moving from Chelsea, but if Kai Havertz is the player you are banking on, then you might come across a few matches where he isn't in the form that you would expect him to be. So that ways I think. Arsenal could do with a central striker if they want to change their approach mid-game or something like that. Anyways, enough of Arsenal. Um, let's talk about some of the other stuff that has been going on in the Premier League in terms of what I mean, like Manchester City. Let's talk about them. Tottenham, I don't think they are going to do anything. Oh, sorry, I forgot about Liverpool, and I have put a picture of Chiesa as on my thumbnail as well. So apparently last night there was news that Chiesa to Liverpool is a real possibility, and I mean, for 12 million, I was reading somewhere. Yes, I mean, it doesn't. it doesn't. There is no risk at all. I mean, in that deal, 12 million. I mean, unless there are like mitigating factors, and he's asking in terms of ridiculous wages like 300 or 400 pounds, 400,000 pounds, uh, 400,000 pounds a week. So, I mean, this, as long as he wants realistic wages, that deal represents no significant risk to Liverpool or any other club for that matter, because I mean, really, I mean, that guy is a full-fledged Italy international, winner of Serie A at Fiorentina. He was ripping it all up and ripping it all up, and I mean, it's a no-brainer if you ask me. And I would be considering that. Just the question is, where is he going to play for Liverpool? He's on the right hand side. He's like on the right hand side. He's a bit uh, you know um, he's uh, just a minute. Maybe my internet is somehow breaking up. Let me just check and post a message then. So yeah, as I was saying, just a minute. So as I was saying, Chiesa. I mean, it's a no-brainer, and if I were Liverpool or any other club, I would go all out to sign Federico Chiesa. He's what, 26, 27 still. Maybe his good years are still ahead of him, and his peak years are still ahead of him. And I mean, I would sign Chiesa in a heartbeat if it were me. I'm actually disappointed that Newcastle are deal, because for me, I mean, why the hell not? Because I mean, genuinely, I mean, he won the Euros with Italy last time round, and as well. Quality is there. Yes, he suffered an ACL injury. I think 2 seasons ago, and last season he made his comeback, and yeah. So and Liverpool have also confirmed the signing of confirmed the or at least the medical has taken place for Georgi Marmadashvili, which is which is which is which is and like, in terms of future, Ellison is 31. You want to future proof, because Mamadashvili would have cost a lot more if he had gone to someplace else. So that ways, Mamadashvili is an excellent signing for if for if it happens for Liverpool, which most likely will happen. And so apart from this, let's talk about some of the other clubs. Man City, I don't see them doing much, although Cancelo is more or less moving to more or less apart from so apart from that, João Cancelo is moving pretty much. Al Hilal, I think, is the club that have shown interest, or maybe someone else as well. It's easy to get confused. Al Hali, Al Hilal, so Al Ittifaq, the names are pretty similar. So I haven't been paying much attention. So that ways it's a bit yeah. That ways it's a bit just waiting for this picture quality to improve. Maybe some internet issue at the end. Maybe some internet issue at my end, and and yeah. So yeah. As I was saying that João Cancelo is moving to Saudi Arabia most likely, and there's talk that Matthias Nunes may move on as well. Atletico Madrid has been touted as a potential destination for potential destination for Matthias Nunes. Whether that happens remains to be seen. Although I'm beginning to think the way the position he plays, Manchester City are pretty much covered. In fact, so good is Pep Guardiola that he can make defenders go into midfield as well. Rico Lewis can go there. Akanji can shift from left back to can shift from left back to right back, or can play in midfield. So is such is Pep's ingenious way, with the way he prepares his teams. So that ways it's a move that I mean could make sense, because Matthias Nunes has really struggled at uh, City ever since. I was actually watching a game where his passing was absurd. I mean, like, absolutely horrific, and he was playing in a playing against a team that was, I mean, in the lower reaches of the Premier League. It might have been someone like Everton. I mean, I'm not disrespecting Everton, but they were, they were really struggling. They have been struggling in the last few years. So that ways, it's. I mean, sad to see, but Manchester could lose a couple of more players. They have been linked with a young Icelandic international from RB Salzburg, I think, and O- Okarson or Oskarsson, something like that. I mean, something son. So I mean, every Icelandic international is a bit like that. So that ways, I'm that they might be you know they might be trimming their squad that ways, but yeah. So that ways, it remains to be seen what Man City do going forward. And they have been linked with a Japanese or a Korean player. I apologize for my lack of knowledge from Celtic. So I mean, let's see if that deal comes to pass from Manchester City. I don't particularly see Manchester City doing anything. They are well stocked up. The some of the youngsters they have, I mean, they could win the Carabao Cup just playing their youngsters, their new left back James McAtee. He's not a left back. James McAtee, who had such a good season at such a good season at um, such a good season at Sheffield United last season. So that way is Wilson S. Brand is another player, and so there are players that Manchester City can call on, and they'd still be better than a lot of other players that other teams can put out. So Spurs, City, I don't expect them to do much. Moving on. Moving on, I wanted to talk about Newcastle United. Newcastle United. Uh, I mean, genuinely hope Eddie Howe was bluffing when he said that Newcastle are unlikely to sign a right winger, and was I mean like unlike Newcastle are unlikely to sign a right winger and a center half, and which is disappointing because right winger is a situation that Newcastle have terribly lacked in the last few years, and it's more or less, if you ask me, a bit of a dereliction of duty. To be honest, dereliction of duty, if you ask me. Although I do feel that, uh, Newcastle were badly, shafted in a way when Tosin Adrabayo decided to go to Chelsea, and I just think that the right hand defender would have been Tosin, and he went to Chelsea. Right hand side defender would have been Tosin, and then a lot of money has been spent on is being spent on a center half. If Tosin could have signed on a free, I mean, then right winger could have been signed. But Mark Gahey looks like that deal will be done by Newcastle United, and hopefully, uh, I can't see him playing against Spurs at the weekend or against Nottingham Forest. Obviously, definitely not against Nottingham Forest, and hopefully that deal gets done. If not, then we are swimming against the tide or pissing against the wind. And we are but on a positive side, Sandro Tonali, today his ban ends. And we can finally see the Italian stallion that we signed, and yeah. So we'll see. Elsewhere, I just don't think anything of particular importance is going on elsewhere in the uh, in the Premier League. Uh, Aston Villa, most of their business was done. West Ham, most of their business is done. Although James Ward-Prowse might move on. Really surprising that James Ward-Prowse um, hasn't been a success. In fact, a roaring success at West Ham. Thought it was tailor made for him, but Guilherme and but Guilherme is the guy they are looking at. Uh, you know, taking them forward, and yeah, full crew. Antonio midfield, they are pretty stacked with Paqueta and everybody there. So that that is as far as that is concerned. Uh, Palace, Leicester. I don't think they are doing anything. Uh, what else? I mean, like has been going on. Uh, I mean, in terms of transfer business, it's going to be pretty slow because uh, Wolves might sign someone, and and Wolves might sign someone. But that remains to be seen. I just don't think anything of importance is going on. Deals that may have been finalized or something like that. So we'll wait and see how that progresses. How that progresses. Uh, in terms of other leagues, let's talk about Bundesliga. Uh, in terms of Bundesliga, uh, Kingsley Coman might move out of Bayern Munich. Um, I mean, there's huge chance that he might move to Saudi Arabia with some club Al Hilal. I am sure. Um, so that ways. Al Hilal are a club that Kingsley Coman might be interested in. Bayern may bring in a couple of defenders. Jonathan Tah, that situation remains to be resolved, and remains to be resolved, and they've lost Delict. So currently, what Bayern Munich have are in terms of defenders are Eric Dyer, Upamecano, Ken Minje, and maybe some youngsters. So maybe some youngsters, and so that way it's something that we see something going on at Dortmund. Yusufa Mukoko might sign for someone in Italy. From what I saw, I mean, really strange. Yusufa Mukoko was built as someone of this I mean, like someone like a generational talent who was scoring goals for under 18s while he was still 12 or 13. So Dortmund might lose a good player. Bundesliga is in full flow now. uh, Another match day coming over the weekend. By the way, today Carabao Cup matches take place. Uh, Crystal Palace are playing. West Ham are playing Bournemouth tomorrow. Tomorrow I think Newcastle are playing. Newcastle are playing. Newcastle are playing Nottingham Forest. So some good matches. Uh, Teams that are involved in Europe will get involved from next round onwards, and so that anyways, Bundesliga we were talking about, and Leipzig may lose a couple of players, and Stuttgart they need to strengthen their squad as well. So we will see a lot of movement because on 30th of uh, on 30th of August, we are not just, I mean, we are going to see the transfer window slam shut for most of the European clubs, but yeah, most of the European clubs, most of the European nations, but some countries will have their window open, like Turkey or something like that. So we'll see how that affects things. Some deals might happen later. Uh, some deals might happen later as well, and PSG haven't heard much. They are about to lose. They're about to lose Manuel Ugarte. Deal has been agreed with Manchester United, as I touched upon earlier. And what else? What else? Talked about La Liga, Atletico Madrid. I told you are perhaps being linked with Matthias Nunez. They've signed the Atlanta goalkeeper. The Atlanta goalkeeper. The Atlanta goalkeeper. Juan Musso, who's a good goalkeeper, but Jan Oblak, I think, is still pretty much the number one. I'm not sure what happens there. Um, and then we have uh, in La Liga, Barcelona. I'm Former Barcelona player Marcos Alonso has signed for Celta Vigo, or is about to sign for Celta Vigo, club in the north of Spain. Uh, I told you, na, Jorgen Strand Larsen, Wolves signed him from Celta Vigo. Iago Aspas, formerly of Liverpool, he plays for Celta Vigo. So Marcus Alonso to Celta Vigo is a done deal. Perhaps, I mean, like it is a done deal. uh, Atletico Madrid are doing business. Uh, Real Sociedad may bring in a couple of players if they lose. I mean, they have lost Mikel Merino. We saw him in the Arsenal Arsenal room, where he was welcomed with the other team members. And so, yeah, Real Sociedad may bring in someone. Villarreal remains to be seen. And yes, sorry, I completely forgot. Chelsea have been also linked with Nico Williams. I mean, what are they? What the hell are they going to go with do with Nico Williams? And I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's perhaps better than almost everyone that Chelsea has, or have Chelsea has. But I'm like, I mean, why would you want him? You have bought players like Pedro Neto, João Felix. You have Noni Madueke. So remains to be seen if if Chelsea sign Nico Williams. They've said to Nico Williams, "We are happy to pay your release clause," and and I mean, it could happen. Let's just check out anything, if anything remotely interesting is happening on Twitter, or if there's some news. If there's some news of any transfer breaking, David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano, these guys, and and yeah. So I mean, like, it looks like just checking out if there's something. I mean, nothing. I mean, like, I mean, in terms of Juventus, we've seen reports are that a deal has been agreed with has been agreed with reports are that a deal has been agreed with uh, Tune Koopmeiners of Atalanta. I mean, like, really tough on Atalanta, losing players like Tune Koopmeiners, Juan Musso. I mean, there were rumors that Adamola Lookman, who scored a hat trick in the final against Bayer Leverkusen, and who so that ways it is it's so that ways it's tough on Atalanta. I mean, it's really tough on them, and I mean, uh, but Juventus need to build their squad. They have sold a lot of players, and they have sold a lot of players, and yeah. So we'll see what comes of it, and we'll see what comes of it. And what, let's just check about uh, what else is there that we can talk about. I guess I've covered most of the things that I wanted to talk about. And let's see if there are any deals. I mean, haven't heard anything of note from uh, I mean, in Italy, La Liga we have covered, Italy we have covered, Bundesliga we have covered, Liga we have covered, and Premier League, of course, we have covered. So we have covered, and basically, more or less, we know where we stand and what needs to happen in this in this in this in this transfer window, and in this transfer window. So let's see what happens going forward. Right now, most of the Premier League teams and La Liga teams, they are focusing on the game against they have the game that they have midweek. So transfer maybe have perhaps taken a bit of a back seat, and we'll see what that I mean, I'm pretty sure all of it will come to a boil. Will come to a boil when Friday approaches, or Saturday morning here in India, or other parts of the world as well. So we'll see how it goes. I'll be transfer window special, and then hopefully we'll amount of meat to chew over, and apparently my net is also creating havoc. So I guess it's time to call it a night for now, and I guess I'll see you in the next few videos of mine, and We'll see how it goes. Till then, stay safe, take care. Bye for now.